Many thanks for staying with us on the newsroom. I am Abisola Adebayo. President Muhammadu Buhari has administered the oath of allegiance and the oath of office to 3 new permanent secretaries of the Federal Civil Service. The president performed the ceremony on Wednesday at the council chambers just before the commencement of the weekly Federal Executive Council meeting. The new permanent secretaries are Lydia Shehu Jafiya from Adamawa State, Udo Mokoko Ekenam from Akwa Ibom State, and Farouk Yusuf Yabo from Sokoto State. Speaking to newsmen after the ceremony, the newly appointed permanent secretaries assured Nigerians that they will perform their duties judiciously. Meanwhile, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo is currently participating in the Federal Executive Council meeting virtually following his discharge from Lagos-based Duchess Hospital. Osinbajo's Senior Special Assistant on Media, Laolu Akonde, said the professor of law had an injury following a game of squash, which is why he underwent a surgical procedure on his femur. The vice president was, however, discharged last week and is recuperating well. Tweeting via his official Twitter handle on Wednesday, Laolu Akonde revealed that the vice president joined the Wednesday FEC meeting, which is presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari virtually. The People's Democratic Party, PDP, and its Gombe State governorship candidate Mohammed Barde are asking the Federal High Court in Abuja to disqualify the Gombe State Governor Inuwa Yahaya and his deputy Jatau Daniel from contesting in the 2023 general elections for allegedly submitting forged certificates. In an originating summons filed on their behalf, the plaintiffs relied on a series of Supreme Court decisions that Inuwa and his deputy having deposed to Forms EC9, which constitute certificates, and making a false statement in it amount to submitting forged certificate, which is a disqualifying ground under the Constitution. In the court processes, the plaintiff alleged that the deputy governor bears multiple names in all his educational certificates without a deed poll and any valid change of name attached to the form submitted to INEC. Meanwhile, no date has been given for the hearing of the case. India recorded 17,135 new coronavirus infections on Wednesday, bringing the country's infection tally to over 44 million. This is according to an update by the country's Union Health Ministry. According to the update, the active cases in the country have now declined to 137,057. India also recorded 47 new fatalities on Tuesday night, raising the country's fatality toll to 526,477. Meanwhile, the active cases comprise of 0.31% of the total infections in the country, while the national COVID-19 recovery rate was recorded at 98.49%. The federal government paid an interest of 405.93 billion naira from January 2022 to April 2022 on the loans it got from the Central Bank of Nigeria through the Ways and Means advances. This is according to data obtained from the Government Medium-Term Expenditure Framework and Fiscal Strategy Paper 2023 to 2025. However, there was no budgetary allocation for the debt to be paid back in the 2022 budget. Previously, the federal government spent 912.57 billion naira in 2020 and 1.12 trillion naira from January to November last year on interest on Ways and Means advances, despite the lack of budgetary allocations for it in the budget. Meanwhile, the CBN has announced that the federal government borrowing from it through the Ways and Means advances could have adverse effects on the bank's monetary policy to the detriment of domestic prices and exchange rates. On the foreign scene, the Democratic Republic of Congo has called for the spokesman of the UN peacekeeping force in the country to leave as soon as possible. The foreign ministry accused Matthias Gilman of making indelicate and inopportune statements. Last week, the UN force known as MONUSCO became the focus of violent protests in eastern DR Congo. About 30 people, including 4 UN peacekeepers and police personnel, died during the arrest. The demonstrators complained that the UN mission had failed to halt a resurgence of violence by rebels more than 2 decades after it was first deployed. Chioma Oyekwere has emerged the first Nigerian woman to win the Commonwealth Games gold medal in the discus throw event at the 2022 Commonwealth Games in Birmingham. The 28-year-old American-born Nigerian took the lead in a competitive women's discus competition in the 4th round, having a distance of 61.70 meters to overtake home favorite Jade Lally of England, who led from the first round with her opening throw. With the new victory, Oyekwere has now become the second Nigerian after Adewale Olukoju who threw 62.62 meters at Auckland in 1990 to win the discus throw title for Nigeria in the history of the Games. Meanwhile, at the end of day 5, Team Nigeria now has 8 medals, 3 golds, 1 silver and 4 bronze, but have dropped to the 10th spot on the medals table. Well, that's it on the newsroom at this time. Many thanks for watching.